All right, so I got this question from Hinasheth, and she said, we are a cash-based practice that does not take Medicare. From the pics and posts, it seems like many of the workshops that are successful are attracting seniors. Any tips to attract patients that are not Medicare? So this was posted in the Inside Circle Facebook page. Dave Wilderman nailed it, and he said, same problem with me. Hannah, I did not designate an age range in my first attempt at a newspaper insert. Got 27 responses, 25 of whom were Medicare. So my next ad, I just put at the top, if you are between the ages of 35 and 64, this workshop will specifically benefit you. It goes in the Sunday paper on Easter, so we'll see what kind of response I get. And Dave nailed it. And so this is playing off of what we talked about, which is how can I attract seniors? By the way, it's the same exact principles, even though the facts are changed a little bit here. So facts can change, principles will always stay the same. We talked about Dan's market, message, media, match triangle. So market, message, media match. And you need to have all three in place to have an ad that's successful. And I don't care if you're talking about Google AdWords, Facebook ad, newspaper, postcard, anything at all. You need to have these three items in place, and they almost be in alignment. So if you recall, I broke it down into 45 to 54, 55 to 64, and 65 and up. And basically, we can assume that Medicare is going to be this group right here. So we don't market to them. What Dave said works great. And there's a little formula that I want to share with you here today that you can always use in your ad to not only attract who you want to attract, but also to repel who you want to repel. And the formula is this. It's who this is for, and who this is not for. And the way that you complete the formula is you just spell it out. So this is for example, in BPTM, we say this is for private practice owners. It is not for you if you work in a POPS practice or work in a hospital system. Very, very simple. But you can use that over and over again. And we talk about a book, that Claude Hopkins book called Scientific Advertising. And there's a line in there, and I'm going to paraphrase, but he says that a person, a reader, somebody who's going to respond, they're much more likely to respond to something if they feel like they're part of a selective group. And I believe the example that he uses in Scientific Advertising is somebody who's a serviceman or they're in the military, and it was like some sort of discount in the ad that he was talking about. So it might have been like 10% off at like a five and dime store if you worked in the military. Well, there's something about that because we feel like we're part of an exclusive group, we know that this is for us and it's not for other people, we're more likely to respond to it. So Dave nailed it. Dave gave you awesome advice, and he crushed it. So it's really in the form of this is for who this is for, who this is not for. And again, the psychology behind it is you're making them feel like, hey, you are part of this 45 to 54, 55 to 64 age group. This is for you. Again, go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it already, where I talk about the language will be a little bit different for that age group. Another thing that you can do is, and the thing that I covered, the media is a little bit different. You're going to be able to get away with Facebook, that most 65-year-olds and above will be less likely to respond to. And I know already that with Facebook, you can go in and do very specific demographic advertising. We're testing that right now for our workshop from the ages of 35 up to 65 and above. So we're testing all that with different campaigns, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then we'll be able to release that to you as well. So I hope that makes sense to you. And remember, when in doubt, if you want to attract a very specific person, you can just write out who this is for or who this is not for. So like at the top of your ad, I think it would be safe to say, or even in the close, this is not for you if you are of Medicare age or a Medicare recipient, or Medicare recipients do not qualify, or something like that, whatever that may be. So hope that makes sense, and I hope that formula helps you out.